YouTubers, I'm the Weather Dude. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you all for tuning back in this weather presentation for the first day of February. I know, right? First day of February 2020. Can you believe it? It's already here. As always, please consider subscribing and watching the whole video. So today, as you might have guessed by my extra excitement for the first day of February, that this will be my weather forecast for February 2020. So, as always, like I said, please consider subscribing, watching the whole video. If you click down below in the description box, just click more and you'll see all my videos that I do highly recommend that you watch, some of my previous videos. So please consider doing so. Thank you. So let's get started in our February 2020 forecast by looking at the precipitation outlook that I made, combined with a bunch of different sources and all that I've looked at, and of course my own opinion. And probably some below average precipitation and maybe some moderately above average precipitation for the west coast, parts of California. Okay, but maybe some equal chances and maybe even some storminess, maybe a little bit above average there for the northwest. Just not quite sure because we could have some drier times there too. But we still will have our wet times, of course. And looks like we're going to have some above average precipitation as well for the east and the southeast. And you're like, great, that's good, snow. I mean, wetter conditions in February and possibly some snow, yes. Okay, but can't really guarantee it because the temperatures could be the only thing punching us in the face here when it comes to the snow. But Great Lakes, Northern Plains, maybe some below average precipitation times, some times of below average precipitation, but the most intense below average precipitation might be as possible that is probably going to occur on the west coast. Okay, how about temperatures? Temperature outlook. Basically, I mean, it's kind of split into thirds here. Northern third of the country basically is going to be cooler with some really cool times possible. We're talking about, the extreme northern plains, northern New England. I mean, for the eastern seaboard, right, whenever it was cold, it was dry. Like, we just didn't have that cold and wet setup coming. Kind of makes me disappointed for me being a snow lover. So, again, up the coast here, up the eastern seaboard, up to about Maryland, Delaware, slightly above average temperatures, with maybe northern Pennsylvania points north seeing below average temperatures. And, of course, Philly, State College being right in the equal chances, right in the divider line. But, yes, the southern third of the country could be above average temperatures. And maybe even more above average places like maybe San Antonio, Austin, Houston, El Paso, maybe parts of, or just south of Phoenix. So that's where your above average temperatures will be. And for the final outlook, there it is. And I did my best indication of a drum roll. And I'm just going to start from the list, top of the list on the right side of your screen. I'm just going to make our way down. So normal conditions with some temperature precipitation swings. Basically, I didn't want to leave any part of the map white. So your yellow was like your equal chances, your normal, basically normal conditions. That's what your yellow color is, because I didn't want to leave any part of the map white this time, I guess. The brunt of the snowfall, potentially, for northern New England. Sorry, I'm kind of hopping around the map here, but hopefully you can follow along with the list. Northern New England, probably, I mean, as you might expect, or maybe the west, but yes, the brunt of the snowfall, probably going to be across northern New England. But if not there, then probably the west. But the west has been a little, back and forth. But they've been, just like last year and the year before that, they had their, periods of heavy snowfall. Certainly, I mean, I know some places that got hundreds of inches of snow already. So it's been quite a winter. Some snowstorms possible, okay, across northern mid-Atlantic, southern New England. But again, gotta worry about those temperature swings. Do the cold and the moisture kind of match up? That's what we're looking for here. Some intense cold shots, it's certainly possible. I didn't want to say frequent because not quite sure how often they're going to happen, but we're definitely going to see some nice and intense cold shots here across the northern plains and the upper Midwest and the Great Lakes. Storminess, definitely going to have some storminess, like I said, across the Northwest, maybe extending down through Casper, Wyoming, Denver, maybe parts of northern Kansas, some storminess, as well as the southeast, the Tennessee Valley. Certainly possible. Okay, and let's go to cooler times. That's across the central, like the Midwest. Central Midwest, maybe the northern Tennessee Valley, St. Louis, Kansas City. maybe Indianapolis, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Charleston, West Virginia, Pittsburgh. All could see some cooler times. Red River Valley going to be kind of near that, normal conditions, but maybe some warm and dry times. That's as our last one for parts of the Southwest and parts of the West Coast. All right, so before we end this video, we're just going to look at the CFS model and kind of like looking through the month of February according to the CFS model. They used to have a very warm bias, but they certainly have changed their ways and been a more reliable model, but their forecasts do fluctuate. All right, so we are looking at the very end of January, so from today, but this is basically the first week of February. Maybe some cooler times down in the South Central Plains. However, if you look at it on the temperature map from the same model, okay, again, the Central Plains and the East are going to be pretty warm going into the first week of February. Maybe parts of the desert Southwest, maybe you see some cooler times, and then the Pacific Northwest seeing some warmer times. And as for the precipitation, that's not it, that's it. Precipitation, New England could see some dry times, but the Southeast and Mid-Atlantic could see some really wet times there possibly. And especially across the Pacific there on the spine, or what you call the legs of Alaska. You got the one leg going this way. I call it like a person that did a split. It's kind of like the main part of Alaska, like where Juneau is like the body. And you got one leg going down. I think, are they a Uten Island? I forget what the islands are called. They go down, extend southwest, and you got the part connected with Canada that extends southeast. And you're going to see some, like, we're talking about precipitation 6, 7, 8 plus inches above average. And for a model like this to say that, it definitely means something. Like a lot more than it actually does. Now let's go through the second week of February. This is the 7th through the 14th. And this is kind of like the jet stream, basically. I mean, we do have some upper level chill, certainly going for the west, but not necessarily for the east. But that's an indication that some cooler times could be coming, and basically almost split in half. Western half of the country is cool, eastern half of the country is warm. It's basically a simple way to look at it. And as for the precipitation, okay, the east is going to start to see some above average precipitation, right? But of course, it's got to come when the warmer temperatures come. Like, look at the west. It's cooler in the west, but we kind of have some mix of wet and dry conditions. So it's got to get those cold and wet times to line up. By the time you head through the third week of February, the 14th to the 21st, and it just doesn't look all that all that pleasant, all that cold air, that deep blue. And that's just, this isn't necessarily the temperature map, but those upper level temperatures, those cooler temperatures are getting locked up in Canada, and you'll be able to tell by this. Okay, although some parts of the west and parts of northern New England, northern plains, see some cooler times. We're going to see some warmer times for the southeast and the mid-Atlantic. Okay, as you can see on the precipitation map, according to the CFS model, still looking pretty wet, with the west coast through the central plains looking possibly a little bit dry. Okay, and I'm not going to go out any farther than this, okay, because it's the February forecast. So here is the final parts of February. Okay, maybe some cooler air trying to get down, but I think the warm air is just going to hold. And that's when the cooler air finally starts to make its way to the northern fringes of the mid-Atlantic, northeast, northern plains, northwest. Okay, and look at this. It's lining up with some potentially wetter times still. With the, like I said in my forecast, I did put this there, with some potentially drier times for the central plains and the southwest. Alright, maybe I will go. Okay, but this is kind of like, it's that right in the middle between the end of February and the beginning of March. And pretty much the same thing, maybe a little bit more cooler air. But look at this. When the cooler air makes it drop down, so does the dry air. So that's not really what we want. Here's their overall look for February as a whole. Again, the East looking very warm. I mean, their weekly and monthly forecast maps do align. The only spot really you can see some cooler times is the Pacific Northwest. Other than that, everybody's either equal chances or just flat out warm. So that is my February 2020 forecast. Thank you guys for watching this video. I am the Weather Dude, signing off. Till next time, thank you for watching.